So there's something.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, who is in the gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will to be edifying. Lord's will to be edifying. This is from Andrea G, however you pronounce that. I assume he's like a forecaster because he goes into like economics and so forth. And you got a guy by the name of Kyle Kalinske too, which is sort of an investigative journalist. But, you know, not on the levels of Whitney Webb or Candace Owens. But nonetheless, you know, it says digital IDs just went live. Say goodbye to privacy. Okay, now we constantly hop on this topic because this is the direction that the world is heading to regarding these technocrats, man. All right, this digital means, you know, Palantir. You got Palantir, which is set up by what's this guy's name, Peter Thiel. Which Peter Thiel is basically he's a globalist, if you want to say that. You have the liking of Bill Gates, and you have the Trump administration that's in tandem with these particular technocrats in order to get their new world order up and running. So therefore, they're not wasting any more time, okay, because they have an agenda to push, which is to microchip the entire population, mainly here in America. So with that being said, man, we don't have that much time left because, I mean, this is a common thing. They even talking about it in the news in some degree. As the guy of the British Parliament, he said, look, before this tenure is over, basically you're going to need a digital token in order to work in the UK. You know, so we got brothers out there, which we know they're keeping a close watch on these ordeals. But, you know, as I mentioned earlier, seeing how they move in the spirit is going to give us all insight on how to move in the spirit, because, you know, before anything hits America first, they do beta tests. Okay, and that's basically what this guy, Andrea G, however the hell you pronounce it, goes into. So I'm gonna play a couple of minutes of this video, and with that being said, we're gonna get some precepts. But yeah, we at the end of Esau's kingdom. Okay, the scriptures say Yahweh Shai should come as a thief in the night, and these prophecies are literally jumping off the pages, man. Okay, people think that this is going to be a long, drawn-out process because, you know, we're so used to them speaking on a microchip and the digital IDs, and to the point it'd be years down the line and they still haven't made a move on it. But this is literally at the door, because this can be mandated by the end of the year. Okay, just depending on how quick Esau move. Now, is it likely? I mean, it's hard to say, but this is the immediate future. So we don't see it sometime in the immediate future. Hey, they can start talking about it more next year. Okay, because next year is going to be an even bigger push to get these digital tokens out, man. You know? So without further delay, here we go.
Big happenings in the world right now that almost no one is talking about. And I think in the long term, this is going to change the way we all live our lives. And I'm talking about digital ID.
This government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory.
Okay, so you got to ask yourself, when does Esau give you anything free unless it's an agenda behind it? Now, going back to 2020 and 2021, when they started pushing you know, the juice, they was giving that away free under what they call experimental. And then years down the line, you got 300% rise in turbo cancers, 20 million deaths later, okay, 300% injuries or juice injuries that they mentioned, you know, and it was just all through free giving of the people. You know, since when does this devil give you anything free? All right, this nigga charge you for fucking bottled water that ain't worth shit. He'll charge you for some shit that he'll go and scoop out of the river and give it to you, man. So you know goddamn well that this ain't got a good agenda for the people, because he never gives anything free. That's not how Esau rolls. He's greedy, you know?
For the right to work by the end of this parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom.
Now, he mentioned the end of this parliament. I don't know when that, I mean, you know, you look it up, and whenever the end is 10 years. But he's speaking as in terms of the immediate future. And that's what they're going for, man. So it's time for you Israelites out there to really start pushing this to your congregations, man, or don't push it at all. Because see, what's going to happen, and what usually happens, is the fact that when push comes to shove and shove comes to punch, these other groups out there that claim to be prophets of the Most High, they're going to be like, well, we always taught that. No, y'all haven't. We got the receipts. GMS pushed this shit religiously, man. You know why? Because it's the scriptures. You other groups, you're worried about your following and how many numbers and how much money you can garner up from your wicked congregations, man. You're not concerned with this because it brings no instant gratification and no monetary gain to your congregations. This is why you're not teaching it, man. But you're going to have sincere members of these different groups that sincerely looking at the Great Millstone like, wait a minute, man, you know, we said that about these guys, but they seem to have this right. They seem to know something that, you know, we're not too familiar with. Or they've been saying that and they've taken a stand on what they were speaking. Because you got sincere men in these other camps that's sincerely trying to learn, and they sincerely want to serve the Heavenly Father. But you got these gatekeepers in the form of leaders that holds them at bay, and that's shutting up the kingdom of heaven to them, man. You know, so those people that's looking, they're going to end up leaving. The Spirit of the Lord is going to get those guys away from you false prophets, and they're going to send them to the proper leadership to get built up, man. You know, like Apostle Tahar always say. He always said this. He always said that people are window shopping now. Okay, like the IUIC. New rounds of gimmicks. But yet, this dude is talking about at the end of the parliament, you're going to need a digital ID to work. You don't think that's coming to Babylon, man? Okay, America is an extension of fucking Great Britain, the UK. That's all it is. All part of the same beast system, man. That's coming over here. And then what the IUIC gonna say? Oh, well, you know, we've been telling them that. No, you haven't, bro. You was teaching that the mark of the beast was an embargo. Then you was teaching that it was Christianity or whatever. Or then you teaching that it's sin. Okay? Oh, it's sin, brother. But then when we call them out on that, they gonna say we bearing false witness. Oh, you're bearing false witness. Fuck y'all, man. False witness, man. Anyway, let's keep going.
If you do not have digital ID.
Now, it might sound like it has nothing to do with economics or finance, and maybe it sounds boring, but the truth is, this is one of the most important changes that governments are pushing right now, and it's happening almost everywhere at the exact same time. In the U.S.
So that's how they're going to roll this thing out at once, because if all governments get on board with this digital shit, then they can easily, then America ain't got to worry about chipping out the entire world. I mean, the only thing America got to represent or worry about is chipping the populace here in America. And you got roughly 350 million people here. They can do that shit in a matter of months, man, if not weeks. Okay, the UK, France, Switzerland, okay, Greece, Italy, hell, fucking Russia, they all involved in it. China, Japan, all these nations are on board with this digital setup, bro. Okay?
Yes, at least 25 states have already launched digital driver's license programs.
Let's do it. Let's rewind it. Slide.
Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Now, it might sound like it has nothing to do with economics or finance, and maybe it sounds boring, but the truth is, this is one of the most important changes that governments are pushing right now, and it's happening almost everywhere at the exact same time. In the US, at least 25 states have already launched digital driver's license programs. That means you can now pull out your phone instead of your wallet when you check into a flight, for example. And in Europe, they passed a law last year that makes it a requirement for all member countries to roll out a national digital ID wallet by 2026.
Now the scriptures goes into those that frame mischief through law. Psalms 94 and 20. That's mischief, because requiring somebody to have a digital ID, for one thing, it's not even constitutional that you even walk around with a driver's license. You have a right to travel. Okay? There's a difference between traveling and driving. Okay? Driving means that it's for commercial use. Traveling means that that's your right as a citizen, man. Okay, but he's made laws on the books telling you that you have to get this digital token in order to propagate in his society, man. Which is all it's madness at the end of the day. Call Allah Yahweh Shad 4444. 44 is mercy. That's the spirit, and we believe we're gonna be shielded from this, man. Okay, but overall it's gonna get bad because the people are gonna be put in a state of delirium, or they're gonna be given an ultimatum and a dilemma. Okay, the ultimatum is either you get the chip or you lose your benefits. You know, you lose your home, you lose your finances, etc. And another way they're gonna do it through coercion is possibly collapsing the economy, because a lot of people are gonna buck up against it at first, because a lot of people know, unlike you jakes that call yourselves Israelites, most people that have some type of religious how can I say it? Some type of religious sense, I'll say it that way. They understand that this is Revelation 13 and 16. Hell, my own mother even understand that. My own sister even understand that. And they don't subscribe to the truth one bit. You know? So it's gonna be a kickback on it, but see how they gonna get you. If you people don't comply with it, you know, eventually they will hold you at gunpoint. Eventually it will come down to bloodshed. As the scriptures say, you have not resisted unto death. But they're going to attack your finances and your benefits and your retirement. All that other stuff is going to be in tandem on that shit. And basically they're going to say, well, look, this is the new way. If you don't want to accept it, then fine, don't accept it. You're just going to be derelict out here. You're going to be ostracized, and it is what it is. You're going to lose your 401k. You're going to lose your savings. You're going to lose all the shit you work for. And that alone, including a famine, will get people to hop on board with this digital system, man, because these people ain't got faith, man. Okay, like Yahweh Shai say, it's all men don't have faith. These people, they don't have faith. Okay, they can understand that this is biblical all they want, but see, these people, they don't have faith in Yahweh Shai, so they're not going to be kept from the hour of temptation. You know?
In China, they just launched their version this summer, which links it to their social credit system. Countries like South Korea, Singapore, Nigeria, the United Arab Emirates are already doing this with their digital IDs. Now, you might have heard of digital IDs before, but I don't think most people really understand what it is, because it's not being debated or talked about in Congress. It's not really trending on CNBC, and most people probably don't even realize that this is actually happening.
With Robinhood Gold, you can instantly start earning 3.75% APY with high yield cash. Sign up for Robinhood Gold.
Come on, man.
Attention homeowners. If your house was built before 2019, I want to buy your house right now.
But what's interesting, though, is that the United Nations has made it one of their goals, quote, legal identity for all by 2030. And the people funding it, of course, the World Economic Forum and the World Bank. And now Europe and the US are writing all of this into law. Just the last decade, the number of national digital ID programs have doubled. Today, over 100 countries either have one or are building one right now. And when I first thought about it, at least on paper, it sounds kind of nice. It promises to cut down on fraud and make travel easier.
Yeah, it sounds nice, but anybody knows that anything that's digital and that's tracked, I mean, you already don't have any freedoms here. So they push that shit and saying, well, you know, it's going to protect you from cyber attacks and all this other stuff. No, it's not, because anything that's computer animated or anything that's dealing with algorithms can be hacked. Okay, a chip can be hacked. It's nothing but fucking computer, man. All right, like think about it, when they hacked the IRS and all that other stuff, when people got their identification taken like 2 years ago, all that was done wirelessly, man, through computers. So what make this any different? You know, this is just the ultimate control, and Esau just wanted to control everything. He doesn't have a need. It's not even a reason behind it outside of him wanting to play the Most High. He just wants to see people in a bad situation. Okay, he don't give a fuck about safety. He don't give a shit about your credit card information getting stolen. He don't give a fuck about that shit, man. Okay, since when a devil that sprays poison in the heavens that you have to breathe, that his own children breathe, poison in the food system, the education system, flood the streets with guns, create black culture, since when do they give a shit about your personal freedoms and safety? And you got to ask yourself that, man. For all you guys out there that think that this is going to be the ultimate form of convenience, yeah, it's going to be ultimate convenient until your ass getting hit with a missile. And that's the result of it, man, if you really want to be technically honest. All right? This is the book of Revelation 13, and I'm going to start at verses 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." Going into their political systems, you got the plebeians and patricians, which is equivalent to the Democrats and the Republicans today, which proves that this ain't nothing but Rome all over again, you know? And it says he spake as a dragon. Yeah, he's speaking as a dragon now because draconian law, okay? If you don't switch over to this new system, you're going to lose everything, okay? Sending troops in cities to pepper spray people that's protesting, that's him speaking as a dragon. Okay, we told you that this devil was going to start to show his horns, man, because Esau has declared war on you people, mainly our people, man. Okay, there was an article that came out of some ditzy ass pastor talking about black men, rebellious black men need to be dealt with like in ancient biblical times. No, nigga, you need to be dealt with. And I'll admit black culture is horrible and it needs to be rooted out of the earth like yesternight, you know. But at the same time, you crackers, you goddamn devils, you created the nigga that we so despise today. You know, you created the wicked ass. You set up the neighborhoods full of adultery and poisonous foods, sugar every goddamn where. Niggas eating hot Cheetos in the morning for breakfast. You know, eating Kit Kats for dinner at night, oodles and noodles for lunch. You created those paradigms, bro. All right. And it says, "And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed." Okay, and that's going into the ancient Roman Empire. And we're seeing this devil showing his horns because eventually he's going to say, look, you either going to get down or you're going to lay down. So brothers and you few sisters out there, man, hey, prepare your minds, man, because certain brothers are going to have to get put to death. Certain sisters are going to have to get put to death, man. It's just what it is. It's just what's written. Okay, this man ain't going to play fair. It ain't going to be fair like the Eliyash Roman said. He said it's not going to be fair. And you got to believe that. And it says, "And he doth great wonders so that he maketh fire coming down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men." It says, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast." Yeah, those miracles, this chip, that's going to be a miracle because you got paraplegics out there that's able to order DoorDashes online with a thought, you know, linking you up to a metaverse, giving you the ability to walk again. And a good depiction of the scripture is that movie called Upgrade. Okay, when a dude got sabotaged in that wreck, it was a wire, it was like a Tesla or some shit, and they sabotaged him and they unalived his wife because she knew the secrets, and then they sabotaged him to make him an experiment. So they put something called STEM inside of him, which was basically an RFID chip. They put it in the spinal cord, and the nigga became a super soldier, man. You know, and then at the end, he gave it 444 again. Call Allah, how about you, how shy? He gave and he gave it consent, you know, because a lot of times with these computer programs and like stuff you download on your phone, they ask you for permission, you know, and by you downloading it by default, you give it permission. So once STEM was downloaded into him, okay, and then, you know, he basically gave it permission to overtake him. So basically he merged himself with machine. And that's what Esau wants to do, doing away with humans and the ultimate technocrats, and you know, we need to learn how to live a life without humans and make everything autonomous and all this other shit, you know. So this is what they want to do. They want to have a bunch of robots around, you know, cleaning up society and playing sports, cooking your hot cocos and lattes and all this other stuff, while you have a group of old Edomite pedophiles sitting at the top enjoying the earth, man, while we're all fucking obliterated somewhere. And he's not going to get a chance to fulfill that because the Heavenly Father is not with him in his plan in totality. But that is the agenda, just so you know. Okay, what the hell you think those depot shots was about? They was about getting rid of the populace, man. Coincidentally, during the pandemic, the Georgia Guidestones miraculously disappeared, didn't they? And I won't say disappeared because apparently they were destroyed or knocked down, but already shows you there. And they did that because they wanted to throw people off about this whole 2020 ordeal, that it was designed to do just what they mentioned. Okay? And it says here that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by the sword and did live. Yeah, because the ancient Roman Empire, I believe the Western Roman Empire, fell. Okay, and then you had what they call the Byzantine Empire, or the Holy Roman Empire, which was led by niggas, man. Okay, the papacy and the councils of Nicaea, which was jakes, a bunch of wicked jakes, man. You know? And it says, and he gave power unto the life of the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should speak and cause as many would not worship the beast shall be killed. Okay, and that doesn't always mean a mortality, a physical mortality. Okay, it can literally be you being put off the grid, you going, you know, you can't deal in this society. Okay, so let's play a couple more minutes, and I gotta go on my appointment here. So I'm gonna play a couple more minutes and get another precept. But this deserves a part 2 to it, because I didn't really hit the points that I really wanted to hit, but it is what it is.
And it onboards about 1 billion people who don't have any legal ID. But once you look into how much power this will give the governments of the world, you're gonna be shocked. Once your entire identity is digital, whoever controls that ID can control a lot of power. And I don't think RFK Jr. is exaggerating when he said that this is turnkey totalitarianism.
It lays the groundwork for global medical surveillance of every human being.
So in today's video, I want to help explain exactly what this is.
Yeah, and your beloved boy RFK, that demon, you know, he's talking about, oh, well, Tylenol causes autism and all that other shit. Yeah, well, clearly it does. Look at you, fucking clown. But anyway, regardless of it, he's with this digital shit too. You know, I want to get yellow number 40 out of the Fruit Loops now. Yeah, it's too late for that. Everybody got some form of turbo cancer. Now you want to, now you want to get rid of it, right? You devils are something else.
Is how it's going to work, how it's going to tie into our financial lives, and what you should be prepared for. So with that said, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Hope you're doing well. Cover the finance and stay free.
All right, cool. He's finna sell some shit, so that's perfect, because I got to shut this down anyway. But I got another precept real quick, and Lord's will I'll come back and do a follow-up to this, because I want to go through half that video. But anyway, this is the book of Revelation 15, and I'm going to start at verses, matter of fact, no, let's go to 14. Revelation 14, and I'm going to start at verses 8. It says here, and there followed an angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all the nations drink of the wine of our wrath, of our fornication, which is the missiles. And it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same should drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and should be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment is sent up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night. Whosoever worship the beast in his image, or whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So with that, all praises and glory and honor and due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakodash. Lord's will, you were edified to the next lesson. Shalom.